This is Dracomaton, and it's not that much of a game. It doesn't need to be, though. Dracomaton reminds me of the era of Flash games back in the day. Some of you are gonna know about that. It's a beautiful little roguelike. It's not very big. It's not that well polished either, but it doesn't really need to be. It's one of those games that you can pick up and then put down and then pick up again later. It's kind of beautiful in that regard, especially because I can tell this was a labor of love. You'll see that the characters don't have any attack animations. And something I think about this is that AI doesn't have the capacity to innovate. It doesn't have the capacity to be lazy enough to create a gun like that in order to avoid making an entire attack animation for a character. I went over this with my therapist earlier today at the time of recording, and she thought it was a good idea for me to make this video in the first place anyway. I may stop talking now and then, but it's just because I was actively talking while I was in the process of recording this. I may be a little rusty. It has been a while since I last played this. When I first found this game, it was a freebie on Steam at the time. There was one of those weird 100% off Steam giveaways. I'd been watching my news feed for sites that, kept track of this kind of thing. Don't really know which road to pick here, that's whatever. Modules in this game are kind of neat because they can synergize in all kinds of interesting ways. Something that gives you a speed bonus might cause you to hit enemies a lot because it may be bugged, or it may just not mesh well with the situation you're in. Horde is kind of a fun thing, just generally, because of the flat damage bonus it applies to everything. So Dracomaton is a game best played with a mouse and keyboard, and you'll see why if I ever run into one of the forms that exemplifies this. Something that I really like about it is, well, its simplicity. It isn't trying to be anything it doesn't need to be. It's not more than it's meant to be. And it doesn't really have to. It's one of those games that waits for you. You don't wait for it. This synergy is kind of fun, because then it makes the spiderwebs go all over the place. Honestly, spiders are one of my favorite creatures. They're silly little goobers if you're not an arachnophobe. See this bounce? This is what I mean by synergy. Sometimes, well, you can tell that I'm rusty. I haven't played this in. There we go. Now my damage bonus is starting to stack up. I find this form fun, but kind of difficult to use. Ah! Yeah, I'm not the greatest player at this at the moment. But I don't need to be. I'm here to make a point, not do a challenge. I'm not here to beat the run. I'm just here to show off this game, what it's meant to be, what it is, and just how quaint it is. Frostform's attacks are kind of short-ranged. They're very dangerous to use, and I'm not particularly fond of them. However, the slowing effect that it can inflict as a secondary, as a modifying ability, is quite useful. I have no idea how I didn't get it. This is why the downs is such a dangerous thing to have on the spider thing. Cannot believe I'm this special. One of the reasons I say this game is best played with a mouse and keyboard is because of this character right here. This is the sharpshooter. I will show you how they function right now. As soon as I get into another battle, I need to do. I always play it safe. Let me show you one of my favorite parts of this game. This adorable little animation. The Lamia merchant can hug your character, as you just said. See this choppy animation? It's simple, it's beautiful, it's a little unpolished, but it doesn't need to be any more polished than it is. It's not trying to be more than anything it needs to be. It's not trying to be some pretentious AAA game. Pretentious AAA games, we all know, are very annoying. They take an incredible toll on our GPUs, they annoy the hell out of us with microtransactions, and they're just generally a pain in the ass. They're games that we have to wait for. We don't wait for them. They're games that we have to wait for. They don't wait for us, it's the other way around. This form has hit scan bullets if I can keep my targeting reticle on enemies. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned that a mouse and keyboard is important to have here. The game is controller compatible, but I don't recommend it. After you beat the game once, this room has a terminal in it where you can use the cheat code that the credits give. But you have to watch the credits to the end, and I'm not spoiling it. Cat is reckless. those are what the terminals look like. Yeah, I definitely haven't played this in a very long time. If you can tell from how much I'm getting hit. But that's okay. You try, and you try again. Until something gives. Until something changes. That's what I'm doing with my channel. I probably haven't said this yet. Unless you know me, you won't know this either. But I can't find a job. So, here I am. Doing what I love. And hoping that I'll be able to get something out of it. The damage bonus that can build up from the Horde ability is kind of ridiculous. You'll see what I mean once I get a lot more bolts in me. This is the boss room. This boss gets me fairly often. I should have bounce. The vessel, to my knowledge, is a form that you can only get once. And it's the one you start with. Don't particularly want this extra one, so. The boss room, as you can see, you don't really have much choice in. This build isn't the best for dealing with the boss, but yeah. Here's the forward slope. I'm not gonna spoil all of it for you, but this game has very somber undertones. And here is the first boss. There are technically 3 bosses in this game, with this being the first. This fight is a test of patience more than anything else. The spider can't really utilize their secondary in this room because of the arena's layout. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to censor the curse words in the editing. Phase 3, let's go. Wow. Yeah, this boss is probably gonna get one. It's just been that long since I last played. And this build also isn't ideal. And there's that. This is something I like about this game also. The fact that, well, there's this silly commentary that happens. Let's go again. Now that I've sharpened my skills a little bit. Well, maybe I can take a stab at this. raised. I'm not terrific at that. When you can't afford to get hit as much, you usually get hit less. The vessel's secondary ability is kind of a good Hail Mary. I told you this character's kind of short-ranged. The flamethrower does the same thing. This can get stupid when you have a lot of different forms. There's a few side areas in a few specific room tiles that hide lore terminals. You kind of have to explore them a little bit. Dracomaton reminds me of the old era of Flash games. It feels like a love letter to those games. Games that were unpolished, beautiful, simple, non-pretentious, and only what they needed to be, nothing more. They waited for you. You didn't wait for them. There weren't timers and cooldowns and all of that nonsense in the way of you and what you wanted to do with the game. There weren't microtransactions to drive you up a wall. That is a great way to start off. Oh look, it's the synergy from last time. Heals? Please. Oh right, battlegrounds. Is there a normal one? I don't think so. Ah! Contact damage? Oh, that's enough. I should not have activated Harbor. Yes, they do in fact be guarded. Well, I think that'll do it for today. This game's kind of kicking my ass today, and I'm not one who likes to lose. So that'll do it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope that I could offer some knowledge, wisdom, I guess. I'm still in the beginning of my life. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. But I guess I'll figure it out at about the same rate you witnessed it. Till then, Balthazar signing off.